Budget 2018 has just been announced, and I'm here with our Senior Tax Manager, Barry Flanagan, to talk about what the changes mean for you and your pocket. So Barry, tell us what happened in the budget in 10 seconds.
There were some moderate income tax cuts announced, as well as increased spending in health, education and additional Gardaí being recruited. All of this will be paid for by an increase in stamp duty, and also a new sugar tax was announced.
Are there any changes to income tax?
Yes, there have been a reduction in 2 of the USC rates, and also there has been an increase in the threshold at the point from which you go from paying tax at 20% to 40%.
What were the changes in USC and who will benefit?
Well, 2 of the rates were lowered, which means that individuals earning between 12 and 18,000, they will pay USC at a rate of 2% rather than 2.5%, and anybody earning more than that will get that benefit, and also they will benefit from the third rate of USC decreasing from 5% down to 4.75%.
Do you think it's a fair budget?
I think so overall. Nobody is going to end up significantly better off out of this, but everybody is benefiting from a certain reduction in the amount of tax that they pay. Also, the amount of tax cuts has been limited. So somebody on the average industrial wage will benefit almost as much as somebody who is earning more than that. So the maximum benefit that any one single person is going to get out of this budget is approximately €330 from a tax perspective, whereas somebody on the average industrial wage will benefit by approximately €230. So overall, the very high earners are not going to get anything more than the medium earners or the lower earners out of this.
So tell us, who came out best in this budget?
I think most people would not have benefited hugely, but people who came out best are probably people who came out worst from previous budgets. So there was increased spending on disabilities and disability care, increased spending on children. TUSA received quite a large increase in their funding, and then also there have been several initiatives announced in respect of housing and the homeless as well.
And Taoiseach Leo Varadkar likes to talk about people who get up early in the morning. How does this budget help the middle class?
Primarily it helps the middle class through a moderate reduction in the amount of income tax that they're going to pay. In addition, then there are some other measures which may benefit them, for example a reduction in the prescription charge from €2.50 to €2 per prescription. So they are the real ways in which people are going to benefit.
Do you think this budget was good for families?
It wasn't bad for families, it wasn't especially good for anybody, and so that includes families as well. Again, it is really just the income tax cuts is the good news for families. There was no increase in child benefit announced, which was something of a surprise. There has been an increase in all of the social welfare payments. So for example, the state pension is going up, and the unemployment and job seekers benefits are going up, all by €5 per week as well. So there has been some increase for some, and some families will benefit from that, but there didn't appear to be anything particularly targeted at families.
Is there anything in this budget for the self-employed?
Yes, the earned income tax credit has increased from €950 to €1,150.
What's preventing the government from raising the earned income tax credit up to the same level as the PAYE tax credit?
Well, there's nothing preventing them from doing so. It's just simply a matter of how much it would cost. It would cost approximately €100 million per year in order to bring it up to the same level as the PAYE tax credit. So they've decided on an incremental approach, and they've increased it by €200 per year, which will cost about €25 million.
Is there anything in the budget for landlords?
Not particularly. There is an initiative has been announced in respect of an extension of deduction allowable for pre-letting expenses, but we really don't have a huge amount of information on whether or not that is really going to benefit all landlords or a particular target or sector. So we're just waiting for more information on that.
Have there been any changes to the state pension?
Yes, the state pension has increased as expected by €5 per week.
Cigarettes, alcohol and fuel. How did the government treat the usual suspects?
Well, quite surprisingly, they decided not to increase the charge on diesel. This had been expected, particularly since the diesel emissions scandal and the news that diesel is perhaps not as green a fuel as we had thought it was previously. In terms of alcohol, again, slight surprise in that there was absolutely no change to the current rates of excise duties on alcohol. Cigarettes have again been hit, however. They are really the one old reliable, and they have increased again by 50 cents for a packet of 20.
Has the government done anything in this budget to help the housing crisis?
This was a major focus of Paschal Donoghue's when he started speaking today. He focused very much on housing and the housing crisis in the first 20 minutes. So as an example of some of the measures that have been introduced, there has been an increase in the HAPS, the Housing Assistance Payment, of up to 150 million per year. In addition, they are promising an extra 1.3 billion is going to be spent on social housing, and they are looking to bring an additional 1,300 houses online next year, over and above what has already been promised.
Is there anything for first-time buyers in the budget?
The good news for first-time buyers is that there is no change to the first-time buyers scheme, the grant that was introduced last year. There had been some discussion as to whether or not that would be phased out, whether or not that had contributed to the rise in house prices. So the no news is good news here for first-time buyers. That first-time buyers grant still is going to be in existence for them for another year at least.
What is the sugar tax, and is it similar to measures planned to be introduced in the UK?
It's very similar to what they're planning to introduce in the UK, and the rationale behind that is just to not give anybody an excuse to cross the border to go shopping. So the sugar tax is being introduced at a rate of 30 cents for a high sugar fizzy drink, 30 cents per litre. So your 1.5 litre bottle of fizzy drink is probably going to cost an extra 45 cents. A can of fizzy drink is probably going to cost an extra 10 cents. There is a reduced rate of 20 cents per 100 per litre for drinks that have between 5 and 8 grams of sugar in them.
Is there anything in the budget to help businesses prepare for Brexit?
Yes, there were two real Brexit initiatives announced today, and there are apparently more to follow. The first of them is a Brexit loan scheme, which is an amount of up to 300 million will be made available to small and medium-sized enterprises who are experiencing difficulties with regards to working capital. So that'll be a reduced interest rate available on those loans to those businesses. Secondly, the hospitality rate VAT at 9% is being retained. This is very good news for all of the hotels and restaurants. The reason that is related to Brexit is Brexit is being used as the rationale for retaining that there is potentially going to be reduced number of visitors from the UK, so therefore they have decided to retain this lower VAT rate in the hospitality sector.
Thank you for joining us and giving your insights on the budget. That's it for today.